Hello everyone, my name is Kenton Kivestu. I'm an ex-BCG consultant, an ex-Googler, and the founder of Rocketblocks, an online platform that helps candidates prepare for interviews. In today's Rocketblocks video, we're going to do a primer on a new group called BCG Digital Ventures. And the reason I think it's interesting to do a primer on this topic and dive into it a little bit is because the consulting business is changing rapidly. Whereas 20 years ago, if you looked at the type of people that McKinsey, Bain, BCG, etc. hired, they basically hired really smart generalists out of MBA programs and some undergrads to do analytical, recommendation-based work. But if you look at the businesses of McKinsey and BCG today, they're doing a lot of different stuff that goes far beyond actual analytical problem-solving recommendation-based work. They're actually helping with implementation. In some cases, they're helping actually build software products on behalf of their clients. And so what we're going to do is take a deep dive into one of those groups today, which is BCG Digital Ventures, and we'll talk about what exactly this group is, what type of work they're doing, and why BCG is interested in doing this. So let's go ahead and jump in. Okay, let's start with the basics. What is BCG Digital Ventures and what is its relationship to BCG proper? Well, first, BCG Digital Ventures is a new unit. It was founded at the beginning of 2014, so it's relatively young on the scale of BCG. It's been around for about 5 years now. And it is a separate unit of BCG with its own CEO, who's Jeff Schumacher. So this is a new, completely separate unit that is wholly owned by BCG. And what that means is that the entire ownership stake of BCG Digital Ventures is owned by BCG. So ultimately, Jeff Schumacher, the CEO of BCG Digital Ventures, reports in through the CEO of BCG, which is Rich Lesser, and they are, he is acting on behalf of BCG, but he does have an entirely separate unit with its own staff, its own headquarters, and obviously some of its own operating procedures. And so that is a key distinction. Even though BCG Digital Ventures is obviously doing digital tech-focused work, their work is very separate and their unit is separate from, say, the technology practice at BCG proper, which is the core strategy consulting tech business that BCG has had for a long time. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that distinction in this next section. Now let's talk about the type of work that BCG Digital Ventures does. And at a high level, the way to think about it is they're working on executional projects where they're actually building and helping launch digital products versus BCG proper, which is maybe working on technology-focused cases, but in an advisory capacity where they're helping analyze markets, think about problems, and making recommendations to clients. So there's a difference between kind of a very advisory role versus an executional role that BCG Digital Ventures is playing. And to think about this in terms of an example, imagine a tech company coming to BCG and saying, we have an idea for a new mobile app, but it's in a new space. And so we want to get your help analyzing the market. We'd like to help. We'd like to get your help sizing the market, segmenting the market, and thinking through the go-to-market strategies. That would be a really good case for the technology practice of BCG proper. On the other hand, if that same company came to BCG and said, look, we've got a new mobile app that we want to launch. We've already sized the market. We've segmented it. We know our go-to-market strategy, but we need help actually building this particular product. We don't have the staff on hand. That would be a really good project for BCG Digital Ventures because what they bring to bear is a different set of capabilities which comes from the type of staff they have. So primarily, as opposed to generalist consultants, BCG Digital Ventures has a teams of engineers, product managers, and designers that can actually build, launch, and experiment on a new technology product, whether it's a mobile app or a website. So it's a really different set of skills and set of capabilities, and that leads to kind of different type of work that this group might actually take on. Finally, let's talk about why BCG would spend the time and effort to spin up a brand new unit like this. And I think there's really two things at play here. The first is that the world is becoming increasingly software driven, and this is true for consumer applications and business applications. And so the importance of building and launching and using software to run your businesses is just an order of magnitude more important than it was 5 years ago, and probably is going to be another order of magnitude more important in a decade. If businesses don't adopt software to make themselves more efficient and meet the demands of the modern consumers and businesses they serve, they just run the risk of going obsolete. So that's the first thing. There's just a major need for it because of this huge shift into a software driven world. The second thing I think is that BCG looked at this massive trend and realized, as their clients are facing it more and more, it's a very different skill set to help someone build, launch, experiment with a software product, and something that they as an organization were not set up to deliver on in their current flying formation. So what they did is, I think, look at that situation, assess it, and say, we need a new unit with a different talent base of engineers, product managers, designers that can really help meet our clients' needs in this space. And I think correctly they identified that spinning up that new type of organization with a new type of talent base really was going to be uh, easier to do it as a separate unit that doesn't have some of the kind of institutional baggage and traditions that the larger organization may have. So that's the decision they made. That's why I think they spun up the business. And I think time will tell, but I think likely it will prove to be a good decision on their behalf. Okay, to sum it up, BCG Digital Ventures is a new unit that is designed from the ground up to help its clients build and launch software products. It's got its own unique talent base that looks a lot different than the core talent base at BCG, and it operates as its own unit with its own CEO, even though it does ultimately roll up to BCG. And importantly, I think one last thing to mention here is that this is not something that only BCG is going to experiment with. I think you're going to see that this is a trend overall in the consulting industry, and other firms that are peer firms of BCG have started doing similar things as well. So it's going to be something to keep an eye on and watch how this evolves over the next 5-10 years. So thank you so much for watching. We've got a ton of Rocket Blocks videos coming out weekly. So if you haven't subscribed yet already, there is a big red button below. And if you subscribe, you'll get all of our videos as soon as they come out. So thanks again for watching and have a great day.